The Ontario Federation of Anglers and Hunters proudly presents Angler and Hunter Television. Brought to you by Canadian Tire, Boris Optics, Mercury Marine and Lund Boats, Yamaha ATVs, Browning Ammunition, Browning Firearms, Suffix Fishing Line, Rapala, 13 Fishing, Camillus Knives and Cuda Tools, Yukon Gear, Killer Instinct Crossbows, and Outfitter Financial.
Whether you started deer hunting when you were 14 or 40, everyone remembers their first deer. One of the proudest moments I can recall was my daughter filling her first tag on a doe. I'm sure the photo we have will hang on our mantle for generations to come. Now, when a deer hunter bags their first buck, it's a whole other story.
Oh my God. Look at that. Look at the rack on that. Oh, baby.
Whether it's a spike horn or the world record,
that's a perfect 8-pointer.
You can be sure that the antlers will be mounted on a wall somewhere for all to see.
Well, the last deer I shot was about 10 years ago. It was a small buck that year. It was antlerless anyway. And that was my first deer. So I thought, hey, I'm going to start shooting deer every year now, and it's been a while. So this one was a long time coming, but it was worth it. Great big 8-pointer. And hey, I'm just happy to be here, shoot a deer once in a while. It's perfect.
Now, let's go back to November 2022. I had August set up in an area where over the years we've seen a lot of big bucks, but we've never really had a chance to get a shot at one.
August has shown a desire to shoot a buck this year and hopefully not use my doe tag.
So for the past about 10 years I've been hunting with my dad, and I did a lot of deer hunting with him, but in that time I never really saw any big bucks. We'd see spikers or forkhorns, which he got with me, but I'd never seen an 8 or a 10-point buck in person before.
I've hunted this farm for 25 years and never even had an opportunity to shoot a deer.
And on our very first sit, as daylight faded, we heard a deer coming in.
Okay, be ready. Back there, I just saw it's something coming. It's a deer, it's a deer. It's got horns. It's a four. Okay, let's just be still. He's coming in. Oh, it's a nice big 8-pointer. Oh, it's a beauty buck. Get ready, okay? Get on the bow. You need to be looking through that scope. Okay, there, you hold right there. I see it. He's got sticks in front of him. Don't move. He's gonna go past us. I need to see if I can get him to come over here. Okay, stay still. He's over here now.
I think my heart was pounding harder than August's. She was so patient and waited for her shot.
He's looking.
Unfortunately, the buck had other plans and walked right past us, and is now just a story of the big one that got away.
Is there another one? Holy smokes, he went right by us. You could have shot him there.
What a heartbreaker. A 10-pointer early afternoon walked within 40 yards of us. And of course, August was cool as she's ever been. And missing that opportunity didn't seem to faze her one bit.
Damn, the tree stand, we would have got him.
Me, on the other hand, well, I just watched 25 years go by in 2 minutes.
believe that. We probably could have got a shot.
I had it, but there's so many sticks.
Still, it's pretty cool that our setup worked, and we had a big buck come in so close. The big one that got away.
Wow, that was a beautiful buck, August. That was like probably 8 or 10 pointer. That was great. Well, sort of. Would have been awesome to get a shot at him.
This portion of Angler and Hunter Television is brought to you by Yamaha ATVs.
When August was 13, she had a chance to get a shot at her first buck.
I had a chance at a buck, but it just wasn't a good spot for me, so I didn't end up getting it. But since then, I haven't had any other chances at getting a buck.
As luck would have it, a shot never presented itself, and a 10-pointer walked out of her life. Like it does for so many of us. This year, we put a camera back in the same spot where her 10-pointer was, and loaded a stump with Analogic's whiteout mineral. All right, well, spring is in the air, and that means it's time to get your mineral out. Start your mineral sites. If you want to have a successful deer season and see more deer, put out mineral. Analogic's Black Ops Whiteout is what I'm going to be using this year. I've got a trail camera set up. I've got the stumps right here, a bunch of dead wood. You can see there's some soft, funky wood there, a fallen tree. Perfect spot to set up a mineral site on the edge of a farm field, real close to a creek. So again, I'm going to dump this. We're going to put a camera on and we're going to watch it. So check out Analogics online and do yourself a favor and start putting some mineral out and getting more deer. Okay, so the process is pretty simple. Bag in the spring, April, May, and a bag in the fall, end of August, early September. Smells good already. So you're just going to cover all them logs with that. And just like that, the deer should start showing up. Stay tuned. Lo and behold, her 10-pointer was back and making regular visits just before dark every day. On opening day of archery season, we got August set up in a ground blind and settled in, hoping she could get a second chance at taking her first buck.
So it's been a few years since I shot my first deer. It was a doe, and then the year after I shot another doe. So this year my dad put out a camera and a lot of minerals at the spot that I saw this buck last year, but then we noticed that he'd gotten even bigger.
Wicked, August, wicked shot. Holy smokes.
Holy smoke, she did it. August, that's a giant buck. You shot him.
You cranked him. That was insane.
I'm shaking, and I didn't even do it.
So I know a lot of people who hunt. My uncle, my friends, their parents, my dad, obviously.
Wicked, August, wicked shot. Holy smokes.
Some people never get that big buck, and for others it takes years for them to get it. So the fact that my first buck was that to me was really cool. He's actually right there. So now when I look at him, I'm always going to remember the story. And it's also something that I'm going to be keeping for the rest of my life because I don't know if I'm ever going to get a deer like that size or bigger ever again.
It's going to be... Now, not only am I a dad, but I'm also an uncle. And I have a niece that also loves to hunt and fish. In fact, a few years back when she was an apprentice hunter, she joined me for her very first goose hunt.
Huge!
Big bird, huh?
Yep.
Look at those feet. It's worth sitting out here in the snow, isn't it?
Definitely.
And she's also spent a few days in the deer stand with me, hoping to take her first deer. And this year, during the rifle season at our deer camp, we were looking to make it happen. So Madison is my lovely niece, and she is going to come and deer hunt with me here for a couple days. And sit in the blind and hopefully get your first deer. But before she gets to come out and sit in the blind and actually hunt deer, we want to make sure she's comfortable shooting my rifle. So for the most part, high caliber rifles, magnums like 7mm mag or like this 270 Winchester short mag, they have a lot of recoil. And this Browning X-Bolt Speed has a muzzle brake on it. And what a muzzle brake does is it sends the discharge out when you fire the gun in all directions, breaks it up. You can see all these little holes here. So instead of just when that bullet fires, all the recoil coming straight back at you, this sends it in a bunch of different directions and it reduces the recoil. So a sensitive young lady like yourself can shoot a Magnum and not be scared because of the recoil, but we want to make sure you're comfortable with it, all right?
Perfect.
Does that make sense?
Sounds good.
All right. We had Madison take a few practice shots with my Browning X-Bolt 270 short mag. Pump that out and then shoot one of those yellow ones. With the muzzle brake and 134 grain Browning BXR ammo, this is a hard-hitting rifle that produces very little recoil.
Oh!
There you go, you're done. You hit it. Now you're ready to go hunting.
This portion of Angler and Hunter Television is brought to you by Minn Kota and Humminbird.
Hunting in the open hardwoods of central Ontario, there's never a guarantee that you will even see a deer. But with having an Analogics mineral stump set up, we had visits by several deer. And we had one spike horn that was making regular appearances. Now, with not having a doe tag, this spike horn would make the perfect first deer for my niece Madison. We got into the stand before sunrise, and minutes after daylight broke, Madison spotted something headed our way.
I see her walking. Where is it? Oh yeah, it's coming across. Okay, you be ready, okay? He's coming. Just take your time. Let him come out. It is a buck. I see horns. It's a spike horn. If you got a broadside shot, put the crosshairs on its shoulder, or you can wait. I would just wait a minute. It's not a great shot. Okay, here you go. When he goes on the other side of that tree, can you see him? You can shoot him now if you want. Take your time, click the safety off. Put the trigger on the in behind that little. Oh no, he's turned away from you. Gotta wait for him to turn sideways, okay? What do you think if you got the crosshairs on him? He's quartered away from you right now. They're pretty good at that. Just take your time. Are you getting nervous? Relax. If he steps, if you got a shot on him, come on, buddy. Turn. Oh my God. Okay, can you put it in his armpit?
Yeah, I can see it.
Put the crosshairs on his armpit right now. Shoot him. It's about to get nuts in this woods right here. Wow, backflipped him. You did it. You got your buck. You got your deer, kid. Anyway, so there you go. Everybody in our hunt camp now, in the last 30 years, has shot a deer. Madison's on the board. How's it feel?
It feels pretty good.
You haven't even gone down there yet. Are you excited?
I am excited.
So what we'll do though is we'll just, normally you watch where the deer runs and you gotta go down and look for a blood trail and make sure it's expired, but you aced that thing. How was the gun?
It was great.
Yeah, like it's a powerful rifle, but with that muzzle brake, there's not much recoil.
Oh, it was perfect.
Because normally it kicks you pretty hard. So, yeah, like 20, what are you, 23?
23.
You know, 23-year-old woman just blasted a deer with a 270 Winchester short mag. But it's a nice light rifle. It's got a muzzle brake, sort of light recoil. And man, like you see the number she just did on that buck. He did a backflip and he expired right where he was standing. That's the easiest drag of all time.
Didn't move too much. He's right beside the trail.
Oh, there's a 10-pointer coming in. Give me the rifle. I'm going to get my deer now.
Perfect.
This would be the easiest track of all time.
Yeah.
Still, have never seen a deer do a backflip.
There you go.
I shot a turkey once and it did a backflip.
I will say that is a first for me.
Well, that's a nice deer. Lift him up. Lift up that head and show me the horns. So they got to be a minimum of 3 inches, though. You got a good handful. There's your very first deer.
Nice. Not a bad first one.
Oh, any deer's a good deer. So my first deer was a little button buck yearling.
About 30 years ago.
Maybe more.
Hey, he's a
Beautiful
good size.
job. You got the spiker that was on camera.
It's the one we were talking about.
He finally showed up. Awesome. Well, we'll get your tag out of your bag, tag them, and guess what you have to do?
Got him.
Got them. Okay, it's official. This tag's legal. Okay, put that back in your bag. And then what we're going to do is we'll drag them. Go for it.
Is that where am I going, sorry?
Right up there. Take them up there. Keep going. Oh, look at this. I don't have to do anything.
The Hunting Edge is brought to you by Browning Ammunition.
To get the edge over the deer, we got in and out of the woods using Yamaha's Wolverine 1000 X2 side-by-side. August took her deer with the Killer Instinct SWAT X1 crossbow, matched with a Burris Oracle X range-finding scope. Madison took her buck with Browning's BXR 134 grain ammo loaded into a Browning X-Bolt 270 short mag, matched with a Burris drop-tine scope. Yukon Gear apparel kept us all warm and comfortable, and of course, a Camillus knife made for easy field dressing of the deer. Okay, let's go get your deer.
I've been coming out deer hunting for 5 years. My first year I went out by myself, I saw a doe and a fawn. And I saw the doe first. I think that was the year I had my doe tag. And then the fawn came out behind her.
You couldn't shoot the mommy and baby?
No, I couldn't do it. So I just kind of watched them for a little bit, and they were eating the apples and the corn that we had there.
Yeah. And then, have you ever seen deer after that any other year?
I saw 2 in this spot, actually, I believe 3 years ago, just about dusk. So right as we were packing up, they came in and then they left.
After you dropped your cell phone?
Yep. Right after I dropped my phone, they ran away. I spooked them.
Okay, you feeling strong? It's gonna be hard.
I was a little nervous, I think.
When?
Right after I pulled the trigger.
Okay.
And before.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And then when the deer backflipped?
It was pretty neat to see. I mean, I've never seen a deer do that, and it definitely didn't run away as far as I thought it would. Kind of just dropped where it was, so it was pretty neat. My whole family goes hunting, and I started coming up here when I was young, so getting into it was pretty easy once I'm around all you guys.
Nicely done. Come here and lift his head.
This definitely felt like the year I wanted it to be, and I do like sitting out here anyway, so even if I didn't get anything, I wouldn't have been too upset, but I was looking forward to get my first deer this year.
We're out of here. How does it feel to shoot your first deer?
Feels really great. Exciting.
Good answer. Congratulations. With a deer down and her first field dressing experience under her belt, we loaded the buck and headed back to camp, where she shared the excitement of her first deer with the rest of the crew and her dad.
Closed captioning of Angler and Hunter Television is brought to you in part by Ontario Out of Doors Magazine. Angler and Hunter Television has been brought to you by Canadian Tire, Mercury Marine, and Lund Boats, Yamaha AHTVs, Browning Ammunition, Browning Firearms, Suffix Fishing Line, Rapala, 13 Fishing, Camillus Knives and Cuda Tools, Yukon Gear, Killer Instinct Crossbows, and Outfitter Financial. For more information on the products used in this episode of Angler and Hunter Television, visit AHTV.com. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Remember, conserve and protect our great outdoors.